onto something that should be exciting for a small portion of our viewers, should I say?
Gonna be short jokes the whole way through.
No, I'm not going to do it again. I did that with Peter Dinklage. I'm out of short jokes. That would be a low blow. Come on. But it's officially Short King Spring, according to TikTok. Callum, hold your excitement,
what does
please.
This mean?
I honestly don't really know very well, but as with everything, there's an air of excitement around it. And I thought I'd sort of gather a compilation of what I can only describe as cope articles, because they're all sort of, as well as the fact that our children are being propagandized to and brainwashed on the daily, we're also getting a new idea of what the vision of men in the future are going to look like, given that those that don't transition are still going to have to, occupy some position in society,
the 2%
right?
of men that don't transition.
Exactly, man. So there's only one choice. You've heard of the new Soviet man. Well, look at the new woke man. And this, I think, is part of it. So this is a New York Post article sort of describing the phenomenon, but then I'll take us to the leftist approach and discussion on this. Okay, so after years of getting the short end of the stick, see what you did there, TikTok, don't be so triggered, Callum. TikTok has declared that the little guys deserve the royal treatment. Short kings is the new wave. Sorry to y'all giraffes. I feel very called out. One fella celebrated on TikTok with a dance. Everything needs to be done with a dance on TikTok. If you don't do it with a dance, I don't know if you're serious about it. But finally, we're getting liberation for the little guy. The TikTok tag Short King has more than 329 million views, with some users calling the increase in interest Short King Spring. The trend is perhaps inspired by Tom Holland and Zendaya, as Id pointed out, whose height difference, he's 5'8", and she's 5'11". How daring. Doesn't deter...
How can it work?
I know. Doesn't deter their romance, but rather breaks the internet, because that's how you should, judge your relationship, by how people on the internet are talking about it. I played sports growing up, and I always wished I was more taller. More for sports than for dating, said one 24-year-old, adding that he's never faced rejection for his height. Most of the girls I've dated, they don't really see height as an issue. In fact, he's experienced the opposite. Recently, he went on a date with a taller woman who said she likes them 5'6" and shorter. So this seems to be a reaction to the overwhelming majority of women you see on dating sites. This is tangential, of course, because I have never been on one of those because I've not needed it, who are like, oh, if you're under 6 foot, don't apply. So this seems to be like a reaction to that. These women being very reactionary.
There was a good reaction to that.
Which was?
If you're over 200 pounds, don't reply, stuff like that.
Yes, there was a great reaction to that. But that would be...
I can't pick my height, but you can pick your weight.
That would be sexism, though, unless the woman you're saying it to is a TERF, in which case it's stunning and brave. We need to get this wraparound going, and you need to understand all the layers. But the playing field hasn't always been historically even, according to a 2014 study which said that short men have less chance of getting married. NYC is even more brutal out the gate, since men under 5'9" have a 1.2% chance of matching online. So this just seems, generally speaking, to be a biological thing. Generally, at least in terms of stated preferences, women state that they want taller men, and then when you actually meet them, it seems to probably be more down to personality. Internet personality Serena Kerrigan, who doubles as somewhat of a dating expert, offering advice to her devout followers online, said women's height preference is no different from how men critique women's bodies. Women are constantly scrutinized for the way they look. I mean, so are men. She said, it's the one place that they're able to take back that kind of power.
No, this doesn't work.
I know.
Because the thing is with the criticism of women's bodies is you can argue, oh, you can change this and that. And with men, you can do the same. You can go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. But with height, it's like you can't change it. Unless you're going to wear some high heels.
Well, you could get I don't know, a plasty like in that South Park episode, just get some testicles and set it in your knees, make you a bit bigger.
I don't think they actually offer that surgery.
I won't name the surgery as well. That might get us in trouble. But some guys said, equate being taller to being more masculine, which plays a role in picking out a potential partner. But he doesn't think something as minuscule as height should matter. See what you did there again. That's a poor choice of words, to be honest.
This article was just having fun like you were there.
It is fun. It's fun
Synonyms for short.
It's fun to look down on people. But basically men equate height with masculinity because of the signals that women give to them. Let's be perfectly honest. For the most part, at least, as I said, stated preferences. Honestly, though, it's good. I think it's good that men are pushing themselves. Your height shouldn't be a limiting factor in your dating prospects. And I think it's all about how you handle yourself and how you hold yourself and the confidence that you project out into the world, just like our good friend Pete has said repeatedly. But let's see what the leftists, how they present this and frame this and what they have to say about this. A recent, and this is from ID, who I believe are
Vice right
yeah,
there.
they're Vice. A recent study found that shorter men needed to earn more money to be deemed equally attractive to taller men. For example, a man who is 5'6" needs to earn an additional $175,000 per year to be as desirable as a man who is 6 foot tall. To be fair, that sucks. That sounds awful if that is true, but I would need to look at the study. But this bias, here's what they've got to say about it. This bias is clearly rooted in misogyny, ableism, and racism, with Asian men often taking the brunt. So,
hang on, women are misogynist, ableist, and...
Yes, leftist logic, short men have a harder time getting women. This is misogyny.
No, it's reality. I mean, this is...
Do you often feel a victim of misogyny, Callum?
No, it's a reflection of... So we've gone through this before. It's like, if you ask women to rate men, they think the average man is like an 8 out of 10, because women's expectations of men when given like apps to find this end up coming out ridiculous every time. But it's just an aspect of reality. Like Jordan Peterson's talked about this with the Pareto distribution. It's just like, a very small number of people do all the work, a very small number of people end up with all the wealth, a very small number of men end up with all the women. Like, it's just reality. It's not, I don't know, some kind of misogynistic, ableistic, racist aspect of the world we live in. Like, no.
See, your brain's not on leftism, though.
Yeah,
you need to view it through a leftist perspective. For instance, Damian Bryant, a 23-year-old trans photographer based in Alabama, says he's often dreaded the question, how tall are you on dating apps, having better luck on ones that don't ask for your height. At 5'6", Damian often experiences height dysphoria.
What?
Height dysphoria. I just desperately feel that I should be taller.
This is the South Park episode.
This really is the South Park. I desperately feel the need to be a basketball player.
It's Kyle saying I want the N-plasty.
Yes.
To play in the NBA.
Let's just create more new pathologies, because everyone being mentally ill isn't bad enough already. And also,
this is the woke new man. The new man should be mentally ill.
Also, trans man on dating sites, how tall are you? This is the question I'm most worried about.
Oh,
Are you sure? Are you sure? Being a trans male comes with its own set of societal expectations. But the expectation...
And it comes with, again, expectations of reality. How dare they?
It's awful. Reality is oppressing me. But the expectations of cis males and the heights that come with them are also packed right on top. Almost like biological men on average are taller.
The biological man who wants to be known as a woman is being treated like a biological man in his dating aspect. Yes, you are. Yeah.
Yep. I think that height is framed to be much more telling of someone's character than it should be. When words like feminine, submissive, or soft are often attached to being short, it feels like us trans men have run into this wall of never fully being perceived as masculine. Trans man worries that people might find him feminine because of his height.
What is it, Elliot?
Not
no,
because...
No. What is it? What's
Elliot Page?
Elliot Page.
The virgin.
The Chad man.
Yes. Trans man worried about masculinity for height, not for his vagina. Nope. Or neopenis. I don't want to be too mean there. Neopenis could be included here. His female penis. With height discrimination spread throughout society, even into the workplace, a survey of heights of Fortune 500 CEOs revealed that they are on average 6 foot tall, which is approximately 2.5 inches taller than the average American man. It's clear posting about Short King Spring won't magically reverse centuries of height discrimination.
Discrimination.
Social conditioning. Callum, you're so oppressed.
I know.
You're so discriminated
With my
against.
reparations.
Mate, if I make any short jokes in your direction, that's a hate crime now.
Well, literally, yes.
I could get 30 years for that.
time well spent. you can repent for your crimes.
Worth it. Every day, the second I get out of prison, I'll just call you short again. What's up, Oompa Loompa?
No, I
just turn around.
Send you back to the gulag,
in.
and the hut will just be a bit shorter than every other building. So you bang your head.
So I'll end up hunched.
No, you'll end up with walking around on your knees.
Oh,
and then
my!
You know what it feels.
But yeah,
I mean, this is the leftist future they're demanding.
This really is. So trans men worried about their height, not their vaginas, and but don't worry, short kings out there. Once again, height does not have to hold you back. Let's look at a historical example. Come on, John. Come on, let's look at Benito Mussolini, 5'6". Or 5'7", depending on where you look. So your height does not have to hold you back. You can rule a whole country if you want.
You too could be the Manlet of the Axis. The most disappointing member.
But to be
the Hungarians get less shtick than the Italians do.
To be fair, we mentioned Dick Otter. He's got the book Dictators and said about how Mussolini was able to get around his height by just standing up straight, puffing his chest out, and holding his jaw and chin up at all times. And yes, and doing this
Whatever
as well.
the hell Italians do.
So it's a lot about posture and confidence, which does count for a lot. I'm not saying go out and become a fascist dictator. I'm saying maybe
You could be.
I'm saying it doesn't. Your height doesn't have to hold you back. But it works often the opposite way as well. You don't know comic books, but I know comic books. There's a Superman comic called...
Well, there's other manlet fascists in the comic books, are there?
No. It's a genuinely interesting example. Is in All-Star Superman, which some of the audience might have heard of, which is Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley. They really actually make you understand how people could believe that Clark Kent isn't Superman by just having every time he's Superman, he's not projecting himself as the massive, tall, 6'2" hunk of meat. He's got his glasses on, he's sniffling all the time, he hunches his back, arches everything over. He's very clumsy, and that posture can trick you in a way, the same way that it can trick you into looking more confident.
Is this dating advice?
No, this is
if you're a short man who goes on a date, just stand up straight and
yeah,
it probably will help. Yeah.
This is Peterson. Stand up straight with his shoulders back. That's what you need to do. But
you
alongside
could be like Benito.
Alongside the leftist ideal of the trans manlet,
spaghetti muncher.
Yes, we also have articles from a while back because this has been going on for a while. For instance, Vice, in defense of my small penis. What? I can't believe this is a real article by Ant Smith. Just for a brief
Ant.
Just for a brief moment, could you just click on his name for me, John, just so we can see the other articles that Ant Smith has written? Oh wait, this is the only one. He was like, "This is my message to the world. I need to project my small penis out there." And then I'm done.
This means that Ant sent in this article, and then that was it. That's all he's done. Unless this is one of the other Vice.
Well, that
writers.
small penis article from Vice was such a groundbreaker, but the rest of it's just not stood up.
What do you want to bet? It's one of the Vice writers who's like, I can't have my real name on this. Ant Smith. We got to figure out how it is, boys.
I put John Smith. Oh, everybody knows it's a Ant.
Who else is a Smith that works at Vice? That's my question.
That's good. But I assume if it's not some Vice writer,
no, Shane Smith. No.
Oh no,
he doesn't work there anymore.
But yeah, so I'll just read a little bit of this. So a study released this week back in 2015 informs us that the average penis size worldwide is 5.2 inches long when erect. And this should help to reassure the large majority of men that the size of their penis is in the normal range. I'm sure it does. But that doesn't mean these results are all good news. My life does not change one bit waking up to find that today I'm only 1.2 inches below average, as opposed to the whopping 1.8 inch discrepancy of yesterday. So he self-reports as having a 4-inch penis.
Can you classify this article as self-harm? What the hell is he doing?
I wonder if some women on dating sites, they look up, they just Google your name, Ant Smith. Oh, God.
Well, at least, he's upfront about it, I guess.
Yep. From now on, when
As much as he can be.
Yep. When someone tells you that your average dick is small, it's abundantly clear that the problem is in their perception, not your equipment. A penis can't be...
Again, leftism. The problem isn't reality. It's people's perceptions of reality.
Yep. A penis can't be measured by inches on a stick. A penis is as small as a man's confidence portrays it to be, or else as small as the imagination of the partner he's with. Now, I've heard of moral relativism. I've heard of cultural relativism, but I've not heard of genital relativism before. A man's penis is only as big as his heart.
The woman's vagina is only tight as she...
Tight as her purse.
As tight as her lips.
Oh, no, the worst. Oh, God, Callum. So, the only answer is to accept who you are. No, don't do that. That sounds nice. It sounds fluffy, but you should always be trying to improve yourself. But once again, there's more articles
what's he
like
do?
this.
Like, take pills?
Get the Swedish-made penis enlarger pump. Signed out to one Austin Powers. But there's other articles.
Gold member now.
Yeah, I think this is another Vice article, actually. So I think Vice really coming out self-reporting here. Scroll down. Why tiny dicks might come back into fashion.
What's going on at Vice?
This is really, really wishful thinking. Oh my God. But yeah, and then there's more stuff like the new ideal woke leftist intersectional man, of course being a trans woman, is wondering to themselves, why am I starting to only just get my first period cramps? Okay, I'm a trans woman who's experiencing her first period cramps. And what the F? I've literally never felt pain like this. Why do we let people live like this?
So that's a biological male who wants to be a woman who's getting period cramps.
Yes, I think you should speak to a doctor, mate.
How?
I don't know. Well, there actually, there's an article. There's an article I found about it. Why trans women can have periods from 2018.
Sure, it's not their appendix.
It might be. It might be. First, let's get this out of the way. Yes, trans women can have periods. No, we do not menstruate. But if your definition of period is so narrow as to only include the flow of blood, then you're not living in the 21st century. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. As if we needed confirmation.
Is this satire?
I wish, but the website is called Curvy and Trans. It's talking about psychodynamics, and it's from people who are trying to give, actual advice. So, like that Lulz article you and Carl looked at the other day, I can only assume this is sincere.
It's getting harder and harder, isn't it?
Yes, but now apparently biological men can have periods. Don't worry that you're not bleeding. It still counts. But here's a list of period symptoms they give here. Cramping in the lower abdomen, water retention and bloating, gas, diarrhea and other intestinal issues, otherwise known as period craps, I will censor it a bit there, emotional instability and irrational thoughts, muscle aches and pains, joint pain, stiffness, breast engorgement and nipple tenderness, and fatigue. So basically, anything, if you've got a stomach ache, mate, if you've got a stomach ache right now, mate, sorry, sad to tell you this, lad, you're on your period. It's your time of the month.
I love it. The biological male who wants to be a woman is experiencing stiffness. That's their time of the month.
Yeah, but when I get back from the gym and get muscle aches and pains, God, it's a terrible period. Time of the month.
Time of the month is all month.
Yep. So essentially, what the left wants to do to all the men who are left after that glorious revolution.
Oh God! You see the bullet points. Do you see number 3? Don't read it out.
Yeah, no, that's what I just read.
But the period.
Yeah, that's what I said. Period craps.
Oh, I thought you were rolling on the word cramp.
No, period craps.
No. All right, never mind. Sorry.
I have heard that they are a legit thing in biological women.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
But what they want us to be, everybody remembers from this weekend, the only noteworthy thing to happen at the Oscars for a few years was Will Smith, the emasculated cuckold, slapping another man for insulting his cheating wife.
But not slapping the man who effed his wife.
No, probably shaking his hand. Congratulations, how was it, sir? But
Would you like a drink? You look famished.
If you are still a man, this is what they want us to be. They want us to be a short manlet, preferably biologically female or low testosterone, cuckold with a tiny penis. This is what the left wants.
Vice versions of the ideal man.
Yes.
In the Vice world, that's considered a high status.
Say what you want about the Soviet regime, at least they had a manly idea of what men should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Soviet man is like, okay, so we tried socialism and it doesn't work. It don't make any sense and is evil. But what if humanity wasn't what it is, and instead is a fantasy version, a fan fiction of what we think humans should be? Then everything would work.
Whereas the intersectionals have gone, hold up, intersectionality doesn't map onto reality. It doesn't work with men as they are now.
So what if we make a fan fiction of what men should be?
What if we make all men biological women?
And cucks.
And cooks. This is what they've got in store for you. Resist it at all costs.
I refuse to eat the bugs. I refuse to live in the pod. I refuse to become a cockle.
Refuse cuckoldry at every
Return
step.
to tradition. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as this article by Carl Benjamin, The Census Data Proves Britain is Not a Nation of Immigrants. And if you want to find out what else we're bringing out, you can also follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com. Thank you and goodbye.